I'm Jamie, and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision. I know the overlay is a little out of whack until Scarlet gets here. Um, Tonight, we're going to talk about Towards Zero, Episode 2. There was some miscommunication tonight about when the watch party was. Hey, welcome. So hopefully, if you're here, you've seen the second episode. If not, well, hopefully you'll get a chance to see it. But oh well. I think we both misunderstood each other. It's okay. But yeah, I watched. Well, at any rate, I watched it twice tonight. Even though
okay, so you should know who did it.
Yeah, I should know who did it. Yeah, no, I watched it, but that's okay. So whoops, why every time I start this, my monitor like blinks and goes out for a second. I'm seriously going bad. So anyway, hello, what did you think of the episode?
Let's see. I mean, should I say the words cunning linguist already?
I don't care.
Neville is a cunning linguist.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they put that in there, but like we had said, I don't think it was in the original, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it is said in the book that they have, for all their like fighting and stuff, they still kind of have what people think is a physical relationship in front of other people, even though Neville's married to Kay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that much of a physical one. Like maybe somebody catches them kissing or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like I said, I was surprised, but I mean, it makes for good TV, right?
Well, you seldom see that depicted on television in a classy way, on a classy staircase, and classy clothing.
Yeah, they did have their clothing. I was gonna say
with a certain elegance and charm.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it worked, but I'm just telling everybody that we're going now. Sorry.
But you interviewed those actors, right? You didn't ask them about that scene.
No, I did not ask them about that scene. Which I guess I could have, but no, I don't want to talk about that with them. But yeah, I interviewed the ones who played Neville, and I gotta look at their names. I'm like, wait, what the hell did I do? I zoomed out there for a second. Neville and Audrey and Mary and Kay. And yeah, people can find
that's cool.
all that on our YouTube page on Sci-Fi Vision. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure that you do. I'm just gonna post this in Discord. I don't know. I think it's been a slow night everywhere. I don't know if like a lot of stuff is going on at once or what's up, but it's been a slow night. So I'll post it in Discord. Maybe some more people will show up, hopefully. But yeah, I think this episode was a lot better than the first one. Did you like it better than the first one, or did you like them both and it didn't matter to you?
Yeah, so far I've liked each of the episodes equally. To coin a Severance phrase.
Severance. I was gonna say to put a Severance reference in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got a little thicker. You know, you got more X's now in the mix.
True. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said last week, I found the first one a little bit slower because they hadn't killed anybody. So I enjoyed this one a little bit better. But I get, like I said before, I get that they had to kind of introduce the idea of the seeds being sown for the whole thing. But yeah, it works. I even though we didn't need it, I took the picture of the manor there. Their sets are really well. Mm-hmm. All their sets, all their costumes in this show are great.
Do you know where that was filmed?
I have no idea. I think somewhere in England. I think.
I probably should look these up when we do shows. I was thinking I should look up locations and I should look up crew stuff, and I never do.
Yeah, I never think to either, but I believe it was somewhere in England, but beyond that, I don't remember where it was, but obviously in the UK. But let's see, they have, why do I not have I don't know why, for some stupid reason, because I I don't know why. I somehow missed the intro thing there with the pictures for whatever reason. But at the beginning, we have the inspector. It's kind of like picking up from the last episode when he had jumped off the cliff, and Sylvia rushes over and follows him, or rushes over to check on him. And for whatever reason, I don't have a picture of it, but that's what he does. And he seems to be okay, but he yells at her and says, "Not to tell anybody."
Yeah, I put in my notes, gets along great with kids.
Yeah, he was being nicer, and then he screamed at her there. I'm guessing back then probably suicide is not something that they
a
want
little stigma
to know about. Yeah, so he doesn't want anybody to know, especially like he would probably be fired if they found out. So they have this, I believe this was breakfast as opposed to dinner, if I remember rightly. But this is where Thomas accuses Neville, and kind of the first time it talks about a little bit about what happens. And Kay, as usual, is just kind of her bitchy self and is like, "Oh, I already know everything about it." And Audrey starts saying she needs to apologize, which I'm not exactly sure why she needed to apologize to him, but she wanted her to. And he's just like, "I don't want to be in the middle of this," because everybody's pulling him in the middle. And Neville says that Thomas is in love with Audrey, and that's why he's doing it. And Mary's just kind of sitting there like, "What did I walk into?" So interesting breakfast at any rate. Clearly these people do not really like each other all that much, except for Neville and Audrey, and maybe Neville and Kay. The rest of them do not get along so well. So then let's see. I had a picture of them. Okay, this is just them eating breakfast. I even got pretty roses in their hair.
Yeah, she's cool.
I'll have, what is her ear? Oh, okay. I was seeing what her earrings were. But anyway, they're not having a great time. Now I got a picture of the bell.
Ooh.
So, which comes into play later. That's why I took a picture of it. But yeah, your bell. Go for it.
Angelica Houston.
Yep. So she talks to Neville, and she's always, I guess, lonely. She doesn't really have anybody there because she doesn't leave her room. And she wants him to stay there, but he doesn't really want to. He wants to go to the beach, which, to be fair, I mean, he came here with his wife and his ex-wife to enjoy his time there. I don't think he expected to sit there with his aunt, but she wants him to. So
she can't even leave the bedroom.
Yeah, she has to be helped to get in the chair even, so she pretty much stays in bed. So I get it. She's lonely, but I'm just kind of surprised she actually expected him to stay. Maybe he used to be nicer. I don't know. But
I would think if they're all looking for the monies, they would like have a bit.
Yeah, I know. He thinks he's going to inherit everything. You think he'd be a little nicer to her, but at any rate, he's like, "I'm going to the beach," so he goes to the beach anyway, even though she doesn't want him to. And he tries to get Kay, his current wife, to swim with him. And of course, she does not want to. Where's it going? But Sylvia, the girl.
It looks like really rough sand.
It does. It looks like it's got rocks in it and all kinds of things. I don't know if it's that like European beaches just aren't as fine sand as we have here, or if it's just because it's
it varies. It varies like America does. I mean, I've been on beaches in America like this too.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
Even beaches in Michigan vary from really soft sand to rocks.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think I've been to like not very many beaches. I've been to Lake Erie and I've been to the ocean on the East Coast, and that's like it. I think in Virginia, that was like the two places I've been to the beach.
Well, I was in Eastern Europe.
And Vancouver, but Vancouver is not. It was cold at the time, so we didn't go anywhere near the water.
Like in Eastern Europe, they just drive the cars up on the beach.
Yeah.
And then go topless. So that's cool.
True. I kind of wonder, and I can't tell because they don't show enough of it, but the beaches a lot of times look the same on a lot of times different British shows use the same sets. So you tend to see the same sets. I'm wondering if this is on Bad Wolf Bay. It's been in other shows, but I don't know.
What's the name of it?
well, I don't know if that's the real name or just the name they gave it after Doctor Who, but Bad Wolf Bay. They
Oh,
filmed
Van Wolf.
Doctor Who. Yeah, they filmed Doctor Who. They filmed what's that other show? I'm like blanking. Broadchurch. They
Okay,
filmed there.
yeah.
Yeah, so could be, could not be. It's a rock. You know, you see the island, whatever you want to call it. Not island, but you know what I mean. The peninsula there. It doesn't
Yeah.
really. So I don't know. But anyway, they're on the beach at any rate. And the girl Sylvia is in the water, and she's thinking about what had happened. And Mary's kind of pissed off there because she's the one who ends up having to watch her. I'm not sure what happened to Treves and why he didn't go to the beach, but she somehow got left behind to take care of her. And this is where Mary asks Thomas if he actually loves Audrey. And he says that he did it one time, but that he doesn't now. And she asked about Neville saying he was a liar. And I don't think she ever actually gets an answer at this point because she starts calling after Sylvia. And then after this, even though, and God, his chest is so nasty, Harry. I'm sorry. I'm not a hair person.
I put in my notes, one picnic too far.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much there. He needs some
Oh, yeah. You want to run your hands through that?
No, he needs some manscaping.
My hands have gotten stuck.
At any rate, she's oiling him up, and I'm guessing Kay is probably somebody who never goes swimming or does anything. She just stays there to be pretty. But since she doesn't want to go in, Audrey offers to go in, and let's see, and she says that she's going to race him, and of course, Neville never, will not take the challenge, I guess is the best way to say it. So he says that
yeah, that's the best way to say it.
He won't back down from the challenge, and he tells Kay that like he's gonna, I forget exactly
as we'll see later.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. But he
doesn't back down.
that he's gonna beat her and to watch him, and wants to show off for her. And so they go out, and he leaves his wife there.
Oh, again. You don't have that picture of her like stripping in front of them and and then stretching with her butt in her face and then stretching.
No, I did. I'm sorry, I didn't put the butt picture up. They do though. We've kind of mentioned this before. They dress a lot. The women dress a lot skimpier clothes than I think they really would at that time, especially Kay. But even that bathing suit, like I don't think they would have worn. I don't. You can't in that picture see the front of it, but I don't think they would have worn a bathing suit like that. But anyway,
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with like 1936 fashion.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on a second. But anyway, he goes there to challenge her, and he's going to swim with her. And I was going to say, at the beginning of the show, I really disliked Kay and was so annoyed by her. But as this episode goes on, like I started to feel bad for her because he treats her so shitty through the whole episode.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she kind of deserves what she gets though at the same time, because it's like she had an affair with him. She cheated, got him to cheat on Audrey. I mean, they always a cheater, so I can't be super surprised. But I do feel kind of bad for her that he treats her like that. I mean, it's bad enough that he's like, let's go on vacation with my ex-wife. Like, I don't know why you thought that was a good idea and agreed to it, but
Yeah, it's almost like she's second best because he didn't want to divorce his first wife.
Yeah. So it's like, why not? Why did he even, cheat on his first wife in the first place?
Yeah. I also wrote my notes. Audrey and Neville swim and disappear. Might be guilty of something because they don't show up till later. I mean, guilty of crime, guilty of exploits, sexy exploits. I don't know.
I guess we won't.
Guilty of something.
Won't ever know either. But so then we go to the inspector here, Inspector Leach, who has woken up after he tried to commit suicide by jumping into the water. Sylvia had brought him there, but he just lies and says, "Oh, I lost my footing on the rock," and the doctor just gives him aspirin and doesn't really do anything. But it's kind of obvious that he's lying, but he's fine. And you find out later, like, he thinks that he should be dead. So I think he's just kind of like annoyed. And in my opinion, it's kind of like, shit, I tried and it didn't work. So yeah, I think he's just not happy that it didn't take.
Yeah, I would have thought that calm waters would have done more damage because he says the right calm waters.
Yeah,
I would think calm waters. I think you would just go down further.
Yeah, I don't know. He must have supposedly hit it in just the right way. I don't know that could happen in real life, but hey, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. And I haven't tried jumping into the water to kill myself either, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah, same.
But I mean,
so is this big?
I don't even know it's that deep. That's the thing too, is you would think that, like, if you jump into the water, like, unless it's rocks, I would think you would just float. I don't know. I don't know. So
I think if you jump like far enough, high enough, you like kind of lose consciousness as you go down.
Oh, okay, maybe. But your body automatically, to some extent, I would think, would float.
Well, it would try to save itself.
Yeah, try to get air. Well, your body's made to, like, not die, or at least to try to not die.
Your body's made to not die.
You know what I mean?
There's things
made to try to survive. But at any rate.
Yeah, survival instinct, yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas goes to talk to Lady Tressilian here, finally, and even though she didn't want to talk to him. And he tells her that, like, his plantation's ruined and he needs money. And he starts blackmailing her. And he's like, if you don't give it to me, I'm going to go to the press with everything that happened with Neville. And she just tells him, it's a tragic accident. She doesn't believe him, has never believed him. And, we find out later that that's why he was sent away, that no one would believe him. But he just keeps saying that it wasn't an accident. And she's like, go settle your feud with Neville like a man. And, I feel bad for him, too. He's been treated like shit by this family. And he's part of the family, So poor Thomas.
So Peter got killed by an arrow that Neville supposedly hit him with?
Yeah.
And then they shipped his family off to the Malay Peninsula?
Yeah, just tried to say it was an accident and he should get over it. And, yeah. Wherever
but then his family died because they got shipped overseas.
Yeah, so he's like, you screwed me. I don't blame the poor guy. And he clearly has, like, a nervous, condition after all that. So it's pretty awful. That's what I mean. Like, I just really don't think back then they would have dressed that revealing. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I think a lot of times.
But this piece of cloth?
Yeah. With the piece of cloth. I mean, when they had bathing suits, they, like, covered all of them. I mean, granted, I don't know tons about specific decades. I'm not going to say I'm an expert or anything, but it seems off from what I would expect it to be.
But then again, they're on their own grounds, though, too.
That's true, too.
I mean, all they're really doing is going from here to the hotel. It's all kind of about the same place.
Yeah, the only thing is it's kind of, like, funny because you would think that even, I mean, like, when she's like, around her husband, it doesn't matter, but around other people, even if it's, I don't know, even if it's the house, I would still think just the way people were so, like, proper that they would, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't know that they would do that. I mean, I remember a lot of times, like, my grandmother talking about when she was young and, like, they had to wear dresses, and it's like, you didn't wear pants and that because well, sometimes they did, like, she would, and even though she wasn't supposed to, like, they were supposed to wear dresses all the time, even in their own home. She's like, you would clean the floor in a dress. So I kind of questioned that, in this time period that they would be dressing like that. I mean, it's neither here nor there. They might have done it just to make them look sexier or whatever because it's a TV show. I have to assume that they did research the period appropriate clothing, and we could be wrong, or they could have just made that choice. But yeah. So anyway,
investigation into 1936 bathing suits.
I'm just curious because it stands out to me. But I mean, it's kind of like, even on, like, Yellow Jackets, like, their hair's clean. I mean, to some extent, they want them to look good, so they're not always 100%.
They said they were dirty, though. The actors were
they were dirty. I've seen behind the scenes pictures. They're definitely dirty, but they're not their hair and teeth are a lot cleaner than they should be. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. I take it to be teenage girls, and they probably have like years of toiletries between all of them.
The only thing is I don't think Misty would be dreaming of toilet paper though, unless they had run out a while ago. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she dreams about that.
I thought you were gonna say she was the one that didn't want to wear deodorant.
No. I just meant, remember that dream she had where she had like a whole bunch of like stacks of toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so Kay is kind of pissed off because he takes forever to get back. Like you said, I lost the next picture. And he's still with Audrey, and this is where he says that they swam too far and it took ages to get back. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. Probably not.
I might have to put down how far is it a swim from the building to the hotel, provided you don't die in between those two things.
Probably.
I mean, I can take that for a crime later, but put that in my notes. But there is that, like, what were they calling that? Riptide.
Oh yeah,
where there was rip current.
Yeah, maybe you could push them back. Either way, I think that.
But they lived.
Yeah, they lived. But no, I wouldn't be surprised if they were fooling around. And at this point, I mean, we don't see it, but they definitely could have been. But Kay's like, I want to go dancing, because she's trying to get him to. I mean, she's kind of like, pay attention to me, right?
Give me in public so you don't make out with your ex-wife.
Yeah, that too. But she's trying to get them apart, and where to go? And so she tells him she wants to go dancing, and Mary's like, I want to go too, and they're gonna bring Sylvia, so they go, and then.
Okay, so she seems guilty because her ex is at the hotel and she wants to go dancing there. So I'll put that in there.
Yeah, I think Kay is not maybe as innocent as she claims, but I still do feel bad for her because of the way that because of the way he treats her in the episode. But they all decide to go, but he says that they have to be back or by lunch, or his aunt's still going to be upset again, which she was already upset, but he's worried about that now suddenly. So he's like, we can't stay long. The countryside is so pretty though. Mm-hmm. So then Mac here is talking to Mrs. Barrett, and he says that he'll take care of Lady Tressilian. Even though she's like,
you mean take care of her?
Yeah. maybe, but he's gonna go see what she wants because the bell's ringing, and I think this is where, am I wrong? I don't have it written down, but isn't this where he tells her how they can take it off or something? I can't remember.
No, it's later. It's late. It's a little later.
Okay. Well, anyway, he goes up. He tells her he'll do it. And there it is. He did something to the bell. I don't know. I thought he said something like, if you just do this, it quits making noise.
Yeah. Okay, he did it earlier then. I thought he did it later.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have it in my notes, but I thought it was now. But he goes up, and she thinks it's Mrs. Barrett, and is just like talking to her. And then she realizes who he is, and she doesn't know him. And he's like, oh, I'm Neville's man. And he moves her over to the chair. I thought, at first when they did it, I guess it's just because I watch a lot of like these kind of shows, and I thought he was going to kill her or something, because you hear her going, no, and it's just like.
She has to grab her and smother her, like to squeeze her to death.
The poor guy just lifted her up and stuck her in the chair. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because she wanted that older lady to do it, but he couldn't do it, and it'd probably be easier moving her.
Yeah, it would, but I think it's just because she didn't know him. And to be fair, again, I wouldn't think that they would, like, probably an unmarried man didn't go alone. Although she's a widow, but still, like, wouldn't necessarily be alone with another woman. I don't know, unless.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, she's an old widow, so I don't know. But I don't know. But he does.
Maybe she has spidey sense and she senses something about him.
Yeah, maybe. But she starts asking him about the place he used to work, which was called Summer Bridge. And we don't get to hear anything about it because they go to the next scene, which is at the Pleasure Hotel that we saw from the last episode. It is so pretty. I want to go to like seriously want to go to the UK so bad. Visit all these beautiful landscapes and castles and everything else. But they're having a dance at the Pleasure Hotel. And I don't know what the name of the hotel is. I'm just going to keep calling it the Pleasure
The
Hotel.
Pleasure Hotel.
I don't know. I forget what it's called. I think they said it some point.
I don't know. I think it's more fun to call it the Pleasure Hotel.
It is. It is. But they have a live band, and I can see it's like a deco design, but they have a live band there. And they're all coming in. They're all dressed up and ready.
Amazingly, he's got his arm around his actual wife.
Yes, for once.
Good move.
Right? Yep. Good times. And they just kind of, it shows them all dancing, and Sylvia is walking around probably looking for something to steal as usual.
Yeah, great place to bring a child. Cool.
Yes, I know. It's kind of funny that they brought her. There's like nobody her age, but you know. And then this is where that Louis Morel's his name, that guy there.
Yeah.
He's the one that had talked to the inspector. I keep wanting to say detective. They don't call them detectives there, but inspector, or at least they don't call him detective. Inspector there before, and had offered him luxuries when he was at the hotel last time. But which you know, we know what that means. But he's dancing with Kay, and the thing is, and I know she's doing it partially to make him jealous, and like he just doesn't even notice. And I don't know. I just found this scene very sad because she's trying so hard to get him to pay attention that she's finally like, fine, I'll dance with him, and it doesn't do anything. And he's so like involved with paying attention to his ex-wife that he doesn't really pay attention. He dances with her. And then let's see. So Sylvia goes outside to see the inspector, who is on the beach still.
Too close to the cliff.
Too close to the cliff again. And I think she says something like, don't jump or something, doesn't she? Don't jump. But she tells him why she was there, and they have like this conversation about her being an orphan, and she tells him she's delinquent. I forget how the whole conversation went, but basically that she got in trouble, and they kind of have a nice discussion. They seem to get along well, and he obviously she cares about him, that she came out and doesn't want him to jump again, even though she really doesn't know him. But they talk a bit. And you know, slow me down or stop me if you want me to, you know.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
Kind of going through. I don't know why I took a picture of the clock, but it's cool looking.
Cool.
I'm curious why it has Egyptians on it though.
Oh, because that was kind of popular at the time at Art Deco, like Egyptian motifs.
Yeah, that's just interesting. I don't know. Sometimes I take pictures of things. I'm like, well, I don't know that we need to see it.
It's about 10 to 2.
Yeah, it's a 10 to 2. You're right.
Yeah, you just wanted to, you know, make sure you knew when things are happening.
Yep. Maybe when it strikes 2, that's when people die. Who knows? So Lady Tressilian is talking to Mr. Treves here, discussing her will. And this is where she says that, like, she was going to give Neville everything, but the only thing he really wants is the country seat. I don't know. I mean, that's like what? The seat on some kind of council or something. I'm not sure exactly what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
I'm assuming
it should be like another thing I should look up to see how important that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a British thing or it's just a family thing. Either way, it's like being important in that group, whatever it is. But she's like, maybe that's the one thing I shouldn't give him. But she's
I just like the fact that she like he wants the country seat and everything. He's already famous tennis player and everything, but the women like Audrey and Mary just want independence.
Yeah, well, that's
how dare they?
Yeah, I know, and but he, you know, he's rich. He don't need it clearly, any of the money. But she's gonna, I guess, leave him stuff. But she's changing it around. That is a lot of food for 2 people. That's what I was just thinking as I'm looking at this. That is so much food for 2 people. But they're rich, or she's rich. She's not necessarily rich, but she's rich.
Why do they have so many glasses? She must be wanting to have more guests come in here because she's got like 8 glasses.
Yeah, I'm wondering if which I didn't think of till you said that. I bet part of it is she expected them to come back sooner, and that's why she.
Oh, this is their picnic! Oh my God, she had a picnic, and they didn't come to her picnic. Oh, so sad. Look how much good food she had.
Yeah, I just,
I mean, that's why she told her to take it away too, I think,
yeah, I didn't really
because
know,
nobody
didn't really think
came.
about it until now. But you would think that she would realize though, like, they did come to spend time together. Like, he comes with his wife. Now, granted, his ex-wife's there, but still, they expected to spend time together, not with her. But so she's sad. But she also tells Treves there about Thomas trying to blackmail her as well. And then back at the dance, Thomas talks to Mary, and he's like apologizing, saying he's not who she hoped. But he's not despicable. He's like, I'm not a bad person. And she's listening, and then he goes to kiss her when she wasn't acting necessarily like she wanted kissed. And that, like I
Yeah.
said, this is back then, they don't do that. So she pushes them away. And while she does that,
Well, I
let's
thought
see.
maybe he thought you could get some at the Pleasure Hotel.
Yep, looks like it. I don't know.
Quite honestly, I thought this guy was making the like hitting on Kay because I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, before, yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
other
thought he was
thing
trying to make out with her in the elevator or wherever they were in that like
before, yeah. Well, the thing is too is that they said that he was in love with Kay before, but they seem to be you know getting along before. But I guess after everything, she's like not mad at him, but she's not gonna make out with him either. So she's like, nope. But she sees Kay and the guy from the hotel having some kind of private conversation. Is that what you meant? I thought you meant Thomas. You thought wanted to make out with her. You meant him.
No, I thought he was just a guy, not her ex at the time,
Oh,
and I thought he
oh,
was just
okay.
trying to hit on her because they've been dancing. I
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. I
It
thought
looks
so
like an
too.
elevator, but I'm not 100% sure what this is.
It does look like an elevator. Yeah. I don't know. It might just be like a. Well, it's not very private if it's a room. It does
Well,
look
it's a
like an
makeout
elevator.
stall in the Pleasure Hotel.
Yeah. Pretty design though. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
beautifully Art Deco. It's very nice.
it is. But it does look like an elevator or a hallway or something that they've kind of snuck off to. But either way, she's watching them. And then back at the manor, Lady Tressilian, okay, let's see, talks to the inspector more again, as she had talked to before. Because if people remember in the last episode, she wanted him to shut down the Pleasure Hotel. That was what she tried to do, which clearly didn't work.
Mm-hmm. You
But
think any of
now,
that, like what she calls the brood of vipers, could have just came in and had a little bit of a drink and some of that pie that she had set up for that picnic?
yeah, they didn't come at all. But she calls him in, and she knows that she knows something happened and knows that he might have tried to kill himself. And this is where he goes into this thing of saying that like when he was in the war that he should have died, but none of the bullets were for him. And so she knows he tried to commit suicide, but I mean he's pretty much admitted it. But she tells him that he has to keep going has to keep living no matter what. And like says about how, heartbroken she was when she saw Matthew go down and his yacht sink. She says it's a bad thing to be angry with the dead. And he wants to know what she was angry about. But yeah, she's kind of rude to him though, because she's like, are you disturbed in the mind? She says a couple different things. Thought
Mm-hmm.
Muncher, you missed Last of Us. That was at 8. Sorry, you can still stream it though. Yeah, that was at 8 p.m. This is our one for towards 0. But that is available. But thank you for coming, and I'm sorry that you missed it.
Do you normally have Last of Us at this on Thursdays?
Yeah, at 8 o'clock.
Okay, I thought it was on Wednesday for some reason.
No, that's why the whole thing with the watch party was hard to do both. That's why it was.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you did Last of Us on Wednesdays.
No. We did it on Thursdays because I had to fit it in with the live stream schedule that was available. So that's why I did 2 in one day. So I'm like, now I got. That's why I was kind of like, I watched this twice for nothing. No, it's okay. But yeah, no, I've had a long day, clearly. But no, yeah, we had that at 8 o'clock. So okay, now I lost where was that. Okay, so then back at the hotel, I don't know why I took a picture of the singer there, but there you go. There's the one that's singing.
Me and my shadow. Singer.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is what she's singing.
Yep.
So let's see. Thomas. Oh no, that's sorry. I'm with the wrong paragraph. Okay. Mary dances with Lewis as well. I'm not sure why she danced with him, unless it's just because she didn't have somebody to dance with after the other one tried to kiss her. So she's like, nope, not dancing with you, I guess.
So you do at the Pleasure Hotel.
I guess so. But it's
well,
funny
plus
though.
she also saw
kind
him
of,
with Kay too, so she's probably curious.
yeah, maybe she's just trying to get the tea, get the dirt.
Get
Because
the tea.
because she kind of came with Thomas. So I was a little surprised that I'm thinking I should probably put things in the chat too. I clearly can't type and talk at the same time today. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Otherwise, as I type, I'm like, I gotta think of what I'm saying. Otherwise, what I type will be like complete shit.
See, I thought this guy just worked at the hotel. I didn't.
No,
think
yeah, I
that...
did too until we found out. So
well,
I don't know.
a working lad, a working man.
Yes,
a working
man. Yeah, no, he definitely seems like either a male prostitute or something. That is definitely what I thought. But like I said, she kind of came there with Tom. I mean, the whole thing, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little weird because the whole thing was she wanted Thomas to come across the country to see her, and he comes, and then she's like, I'm going to dance with somebody else. So yeah, I don't know. These people don't have very good manners, do they?
well, I guess Thomas just wasn't the, enigmatic.
Well, I think he was fine until he tried to kiss her, and then she's like, nope, that's not happening. So I mean, I don't know.
Wanted somebody that was more like enigmatic and, sweep her off her feet kind of a thing. Romantic, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. She might honestly just be spying kind of, because she does kind of, because she seems like to me later when she brings him to the manor that she's doing it to cause trouble. Didn't you think so? Because Neville got mad and she's like, he's my guest. And I'm thinking, why did she bring him if not to cause a problem? I think that she figured out there was something going on with them. I really do. I think she's
well, I mean, what makes a party great is, the best thing to bring to a party is more X's. More X's in the party means more.
There's
more.
Too many X's at these parties, I think. But
more.
Yep. But Audrey and Neville are dancing, and clearly they're dancing way too close if they're divorced. And this is where, like I said, I just really honestly felt so bad for her. As much as I disliked her through the first episode and the first half of this.
See, I think this might be what the book presents. Maybe there's a scene in the book where they're dancing like too close.
Yeah. Well, they I don't know. They definitely look like I would get the opinion from this that they might be people that enjoy showing off in that way when they were married. You know what I mean?
Provocative.
Yeah. So
exhibitionist.
Yeah, exhibitionist. Yeah, that's a better word for it.
Yeah.
But doing it in front of your wife, yeah, not so nice. So she's like, screw. Oh no, that's still Mary dancing with her. So she gets upset. I forget what she says to him, but she's not happy, and she comes over. She says she wants to leave. And then when they do get back, Neville tries to go see his aunt, who won't see him because she's pissed he left and didn't come to the, as you said, the picnic that he didn't show up. So she
I feel so bad. I feel so bad I didn't make the association with all that food with the picnic.
No, I didn't either. I did not either. So it's not just
I watched it twice, the same as you, and I was like, oh, this is sad that she has all these glasses lined up and not a single person just came in. Yeah,
she's clearly a very lonely old woman. But at least she had Treves there, I guess. That's something. Not a lot, but it's something.
Yeah, when she yelled at her assistant to take the cakes away, I felt like she was just being mean, but then I thought, God, she's taking away because there's no one there to share them.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. So she's mad that they didn't come, and she's like refuses to talk to him. I don't know. I'm wondering if this is a continuity error, because why is it he comes here, and I'm only noticing this because I'm looking at the pictures. He comes to talk to her and he's got on something more casual, but when he's talking to his wife, why does he have this suit on? Because this is, I think, still the same day, unless I didn't take a picture of the next scene. I don't know.
I feel like the bell rings even after that guy fixes it. I felt like the bell rang again for some reason.
It might have, and it might also be that they get dressed up because, like, to go downstairs too. I don't know, but anyway,
this is completely like linear storytelling.
It might be, but I don't know. Like I said, it's like wearing a dress to clean floors. It might just be they get dressed up depending where they go, and I'm just noticing it now because they do seem to always wear fancy clothes.
But where's the more casual stuff? What scene was that?
Well, this was what he wore to the dance.
Oh,
that's why I was surprised because she had this dress on.
Yeah, all right.
And he had that suit, and then now he's in like a tux, and she's in this more probably for dinner.
You gotta dress.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably just they're getting dressed for dinner. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You can't wear your casual stuff to dinner.
That is true. That is true.
But a faux pas.
It's family dinner apparently. But what anyway, yeah, I know it's not hers. But she's upset, and also I have written there that he found out his aunt's reconsidering her will. I don't know if that was before that, but I have that there. But anyway, it must have been that Treves told him maybe. But they argue about Audrey, and he's like, she wouldn't have made a fuss about this, and she would have just left if she didn't like it, or she would have taken it.
She would have swallowed it
or left. And the thing is that this just makes you realize, like, he clearly was not a good husband to Audrey either, which is probably why she wanted to divorce him in the first place. I mean, maybe they have a sexual attraction, but he was not a good husband. Because he, is kind of like, he's acting like what he did was fine, and he didn't do anything wrong, even though he was dancing that close with his ex-wife. But she's like, I'm not going nowhere. She's not putting up with it, but she ain't gonna leave either. So then let's see. Then they go to dinner. You're right, it was for dinner. Let's see. Okay. I have something about they get drinks, but I don't think that's important. So later, Treves tells everybody here at dinner that Lady Tressilian's is indisposed. And I'm guessing that maybe it's just because she's upset because they didn't come. So she's like, well, then I ain't going to eat dinner with you, which I don't blame her if that was why she didn't come down, to be fair.
I didn't know she could.
Well, yeah, I assume they probably have a wheelchair or something and would normally bring her down. I don't know. But this is where somewhere here, Mary brings in Lewis. Okay, I don't have a picture of Lewis coming in, but Mary brings in Lewis, and she tells Neville when he complains that he's her guest. And this is where I was saying, like, I feel like she did it just to cause problems. I really do. I think that she knows something's going on, and she's trying to figure out what the heck is up.
Or maybe him and Kate are up to something.
Yeah, I don't know, but she's trying to suss it out. And this is when Treves starts talking about the detective story, and it's basically the scene that we got at the very beginning of the series. It's finally wrapped back around. We've finally gotten to the timeline at the beginning of the show.
So is he addressing the audience with this?
I think he's telling them the story, but yeah, I think it's kind of like a breaks the fourth wall. It's explaining it to us.
Okay, because I was really confused because I'm like, why is he explaining it to them? Or does he just expect a murder most well is going to happen within the confines of this house?
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's telling them about a good murder detective story, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just talking about stories.
Maybe he's the murderer.
Maybe, I don't know.
Tell you about how murder goes down.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. That is a good question, but it was sort of breaking the fourth wall when he did that.
It just seems kind of out of nowhere.
It is.
Just like there's
I mean, I don't know if it's just stuff happened in between and they're just showing us this is when it happened. I don't know. when they're
Like,
at
do you remember,
dinner.
Neville, when you hit Peter with that arrow? There was a,
Yeah,
a build up
lots,
before then.
lots of discussion. Yeah, this is when
Murder.
the seed had been sown by now, I guess, is according to what he said.
Mm.
But Lewis does mention that he danced with Neville's wife, Kay. He says something like, "Oh, you remember me? I danced with your wife." But actually, I think that might be after dinner. I think that's after. I was trying to see what I can't tell who the singer
Oh,
is.
you can't tell what's on that record?
No, it says. Oh, it looks like it says okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't read it. It looks like it says OKEH.
Oh, I
Which
was trying to read the actual artist and everything on it.
It's not lazy Tyler. Lazy.
Oh, Lazy River?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it is Lazy River. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I think it is Lazy River. So, yes, they're playing Lazy River. This is where Kay is really drunk. And she tells Lewis she owes him the rest of their dance. And it's like, Neville, you can dance with your other wife. And then whenever he doesn't do anything, she's like, well, I'll dance with Audrey if you won't.
Yeah, first she said your wife, though she kept saying your wife and not your ex-wife.
Yeah, she's like, well, it seems like he wants to be with both of them. But she also dances with him. She's clearly drunk. And then she's like, I'll dance with her. And she starts scratching the shit out of her neck. And, it's not going so well. She's making a fool out of herself, basically. But Neville tries to take her to bed, and he tries to stop him the way he's acting. But then Audrey pipes up, and she's like, "My gold compact's missing." And I find that interesting as I'm reading my notes, because it was Kay's compact that got lost in supposedly lost in Neville's car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was the reason why she knew they supposedly cheated, which we said before may have been she may have planted.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
yeah, compact planning in my notes.
Yeah, so she wants help to look for it. She's like, I'll go help you. You dance with your boyfriend. So he goes up with her, and clearly they have no intention of looking for the compact. And this is where they start making out in the hallway. And then I did take a picture of that. I probably should have I did take a picture of it. Like you said, he's a cunning linguist.
I put get a room, you cunning linguist.
Yeah. But see, that's kind of my point. Like it's not just that he's messing around with her. He's doing it while Kay's there, right in front of her. He just doesn't care.
Right on the staircase.
And he's doing the same thing right in the middle of the staircase, right? So meanwhile, Lewis asks Kay if she knows what these people are. But she kind of ignores him and ends up, I don't have a picture of it, but she catches them while he's there.
There. But he's hanging out there.
She does kind of be like, Neville, like, stop. She's watching us. But, he ignores her.
It's more like, Neville, don't stop.
Yeah, it sounded more like that. You're right. But anyway, she finds him, and she's like, you'll be wanting a divorce, but you won't get one from me. So she kind of does say, like, you did it the same thing to me, but I'm not going to give you a divorce like she did. That she'll, drag him down or whatever. And she's like, that she wants to see both of them dead. And then Lewis comes up and pushes Neville down the stairs.
You have any pictures of that?
No, I don't. I don't know why. Sometimes when
I just took the picture of the stairway, but nothing else.
Well, you gotta realize that, like, the way I capture the program I have, it's sometimes like it's hard to get it to not jump a certain amount of time. So like I get some, and then other things get skipped without me realizing it until I go back through to read everything. But so sorry, yeah. But he pushes him down. It's only a couple stairs. It isn't enough that it hurts him. But he shoves him down the stairs, and because he's pissed, and he's clearly partially upset because she's upset. I mean, this is before we know he's her ex, but he's upset for her for being so rude to her. But he's basically kicked out of the house. And then later, I skipped like a whole piece of this in the pictures. I am sorry. Later, his aunt, Lady Tressilian, asks him, she says, "You're trying to have your cake and eat it too." She's like, "Audrey will leave in the morning." Because he's like, "She's a part of me. I'm still in love with." But she's like, "She'll leave tomorrow, and you're gonna make things right with Kay." And yeah, I don't know what the heck I did because I don't have another picture till she dies. So I honestly don't know what I did that this whole section got skipped. I did something wrong.
I just
I
have in my notes what Neville said. I couldn't recover from her.
yeah, he's not.
I said gross.
Yeah, well, but she tells him, she's like, "You're gonna go make things better with your wife," because that's the thing too, is like he I wonder if it didn't refresh. Let me see if maybe it's not refreshed as I hit it. No, it's still only showing that. I don't know. But at any rate, she's like telling him he's going to make things better with his wife because in that time, you didn't do things like have affairs, or at least not where people knew about it, right? So, and she's kind of, she's not wrong though. She's kind of like, you divorced your wife for her and you're going to stay with her. It's like you made your bed, lie in it, right? That's the way I look at it. She's kind of saying.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so he goes back to the room and she kind of yells at him for it. And then he tries to get her to let him in so he can apologize, but she won't let him in the room. And you can just hear him knocking. And then I'm just so confused because I swear I took pictures of this. I'm going to try going back. I'm going to go out of it and go back.
Is that when she was pushing him?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I swear that I took pictures of this. I'm going to reload it and see if maybe it just didn't. I swear I remember taking pictures of this scene. At least I thought I did, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Dinner. I'm scanning through, looking. No, it's still not showing up. So I guess that and the him enjoying himself is the next one we have till she's dead. That's what I said. The next picture I have is this, which is like way too far forward. Yeah, so I honestly, I just don't know what I did.
Soon after the stairwell, though, I have a bell back together because there's a bell, but maybe that's a different bell.
I don't know. That's why I said I'm not sure what I did. I honestly thought I took them, but either I didn't take them and I thought I did, or it for whatever reason isn't updating the folder within Lightroom, which is also a possibility because I'm using Lightroom to show these. Right. It's going to bug me. I'm going to look. I don't know. It's possible that I'm just stupid and thought I did and didn't. I don't know. As I said, it's been a long day.
But then, the bell thing that happened here was just confusing because I thought not Thomas, but the other guy, Mac, took the bell apart, but then the bell was ringing and it was confusing to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole thing I thought with the bell was just Mac was showing that Mrs. Barrett, that she could turn it off when it was annoying. Although if they weren't here, they really can't do that. So I don't know. But he gets caught, basically. He has a bottle of this Veronal, and Mac does. And he tells Mrs. Barrett that he came to get it from Mrs. Strange, that she needs a sleeping drop. And that's how he kind of, what he does to get out of it. And then this is where Neville tells Mrs. Barrett that she's been locked out. And he's like, "I don't think my aunt's well enough for all this mayhem."
Oh, this is where I wrote Neville whining.
Yes, Neville whining, right. He's like, he basically says he's going back to the Pleasure Hotel because he's going to go get drunk, is basically what he says. And then, geez, I really skipped a big section.
The maid drinks a lot of tea.
Yeah, the maid drinks a lot Mrs. Barrett drinks a lot of tea. And then Mary realizes she's missing in the morning and she goes to check on her and she's almost dead, but not quite dead. And then she hears a scream.
Yeah, it wasn't the second time when I heard her say, "Oh, you're alive," because I thought she was dead too. The first time.
Yeah, no, I did too. But
she's like, "Oh, you're alive," and we're like, "Oh, good."
Yeah, just passed out. But she hears a scream, and the inspector has found out that Lady Tressilian has been killed. And this is where Kay comes out, and she's like, "If I was going to kill someone, it would have been you." I'm
I'm just going to point out the amount of like golf club deaths in this week has been pretty high.
Wait, say that again.
The number of golf club related deaths this this week have been pretty high.
Oh, yeah.
That's this night for you. It's been very high.
Yes, it definitely has been high. I didn't realize what you meant, golf clubs. Yes, you connected it. Now I know what you mean. Yes,
Yeah.
2 shows with that. But this one they did not show it, thankfully. But anyway, she's like, if I was
I
gonna
think Angelica Houston wants it to be classy. Stick with the
she
classy.
wants to keep it classy. You're right.
Yeah.
But Audrey comes in and I don't picture Audrey there, but she comes in and she like is all over Neville, like it's like comforting him after his aunt's death, which really his wife should be doing, but she's pissed
Yeah,
off.
I know. It's just like we're
I get
guy
it,
from K.
Yeah. So Leech, you know what I think it is? I think like when I went back to get more captures, I did it in like a different part of it, and I thought it was that scene and it wasn't, because I have pictures, because I'm thinking this is where he was looking through the desk, but it isn't. That's later. So Leach, the detective guy, thinks that someone drugged Mrs. Barrett with that veronal, and the guy, the other, see, I know I have a picture of that guy though. What the hell, this guy? That's why I swear, like it seems like it. You know what? I think something's out of order, because this, I think, is where she's talking to him and he's upset. So I'm wondering if I have the pictures and they're just out of order. But anyway, this guy, D.S. Miller, he says that Lady Tresillian had 2 blows to the head with a blunt object and was killed between midnight and 2. And this is where he says that the bell was disabled at all 3 points. The doors were locked. And the inspector asks why they would drug Mrs. Barrett if nobody was going to hear her bell go off when she died anyway, which is the big question. And they start suspecting that maybe it could be Max, since he's new there, or Lewis Morel. So they want to find him, but they're gonna hold Mac. And then the inspector talks to Treves about the will, and he's like, it's not going to help you. They each get their little piece of the gold, but it doesn't give you 0.0. It doesn't tell you who the killer is what he's saying. And Sylvia's like listening from out, is like spying on them. And he knows,
he says that's motive.
Yeah, he says that's motive. He knows that there is some kind of secret he's hiding, but he doesn't know what it is. But he doesn't think that Mr. Treves here wants to actually find the killer. And he's like, I've been protecting Lady Tresillian's interest for 30 years and she wanted to keep the family together. So that's what he's doing. And he asks again for the will, and he starts telling him then about Roy blackmailing her. But he does eventually get the will off of him. And he comes out to talk to them about what's going on. And he says that she was in the middle of rewriting the will, that she had said that Neville got the house but crossed it off. And I'm a little confused about that, because she says she crossed it off, but yet later he says that he's the man of the house. So he somehow inherited the house.
Head of household.
Yeah.
Head of
So
household.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter. She scratched it out, but that's what he says. But anyway, it still had Audrey and his wife, but she had scratched it out and put in K, penciled it in. So she didn't think it was going to last, in other words.
Yeah, maybe he's just a standing head of household until they figure this all out.
Maybe that's true. Could be. But
that's one hell of a vase.
It is. That's a big ass vase. That's pretty vase. But hey, look, it's got a matching one up there.
Oh yeah, whole set.
Yep, whole set. But he says that Thomas got, where did it go? I lost it. I lost where I was at. Okay. Thomas gets a decent inheritance, and Mary gets a whole bunch. She gets he says a generous legacy. So in other words, she must have been really pissed at Neville because she was cutting him out and giving it to them, even though she was mad at Thomas. I don't know. Do you think that means that she knows Thomas was telling the truth, or do you think she just wanted to cut Neville out of it because she was mad because he didn't want to have lunch with her?
I don't think those have to be mutually exclusive.
Mutually exclusive. I'm going to say she's just petty.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And plus, she might feel bad about Thomas.
Yeah,
who knows? She might have a sense of
I don't know.
but
I think that she probably figures that he did kill her or kill him, but she doesn't know. So let's see. He questions Neville, and when he's there with his lawyer, because Treves is the family lawyer, and he admits there was a fight, and he says he's still in love with his ex-wife, and he does say that Kay said she wanted to see them dead. And the inspector also says that Neville had words with his aunt before he left to drink, but it seems like he can't have done it because of the timing. He doesn't seem to think he did. But he does ask about the blackmail, and he talks to Thomas here. See, this is where I'm saying I think it's all out of order, because I have that he talked to Thomas, and I don't think that's the scene. That's another scene. Anyway, he talks to Thomas as well. Just pretend that there's a picture there. It's not, but he talks to Thomas, and you can figure it out. He talks to Thomas about blackmailing Neville, and that's where he says that he was owed, and he explains what happened. The kid's name was Peter James. And T.S. Miller, that other cop, this guy, he remembers that just it was an accident there, that a local boy was killed with a bow and arrow, but Thomas says that, Neville killed him on purpose, his brother. And then that's when his aunt sent them. She's his aunt too, right? Thomas's aunt too. They're cousins. So yeah, that she sent his family into exile, sent them away, and that place killed his parents. So he blames them, and he's like, I never did anything wrong. And then he's like, well, you used a dead boy to try to get money from your aunt. But the thing is if he really did do that, then, but yeah, I guess you still wouldn't probably want to use it for money. But he asked what he did when she wouldn't give him the money, and he gets upset. It's clear this poor guy's traumatized big time. Then Mary talks to the inspector, and he asks her about Thomas and talks about their letters, and she says that Lady Tressilian took her and her father in while he was dying, and he's like, basically says, what was disloyal that you were writing Thomas, which I'm not sure that that's really accurate, but that's what he says because he's trying to trap her, and says that she needed independence and he needed money because Thomas was bankrupt, which she did not know, but now she does. And then Neville tells Audrey he shouldn't have left. Sorry, my thing's beeping. And he's looking through stuff. He finds the broken photo. I don't know, I must have skipped that earlier. I thought I wrote it in the notes, but Lady Tressilian had basically thrown down the photo of her dead husband. And he finds it, and he asks Miller, he's like, we need to figure out why she was so mad. And then he looks through
People don't normally get mad at the dead.
Yeah, they don't normally get mad at the dead. But he thinks that maybe Matthew did something that she couldn't forgive him for. So that's what he's suspecting. Then they call him because they found something. And they go outside, and this is where they show him the golf club there. Like you said, another golf club. That has Neville's initials.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? Yeah. Good night for being killed with golf clubs. But they know that Miller was at the Pleasure Hotel at midnight and returned at 3. So he couldn't have done it if it was between 12 and 3. And since there was like a 40 or 45 minute window where he wasn't there, but he said he went to the beach to sober up, but it takes 80 minutes to drive from one place to the other. So that's his alibi. And he's like, he couldn't have done it. So he has taken him for now off the list.
Unless he's a good swimmer.
Yep. Unless you could be right. I won't tell you, but you could be right or not. But he's mad because he basically has nothing. He thought he did, but he has nothing. So then he does find out that no one knew. Let's see. Yeah, because see there. Oh, that's when he finds the other stuff. Okay. Found out that no one knew him at Summerbridge. He smuggled his way into the house, and he found the bottle of the, what's it called? Vernal. Yeah, Vernal. He found in his room, and he just says he doesn't sleep well. And this is where he says the bell was disabled, and he won't tell him what happens. And then eventually he gives him a letter from Lady Tressilian before his mother died that was to her, and that basically his name's Matthew Hutton, but his mother was a maid there, and her Lady Tressilian's husband had an affair with the maid, and he's the bastard son. And
that's Sir Matt and the maid. That's where I wrote my notes. Sir Matt and the maid.
But that
scandal.
It's definitely would have been a scandal, and that's the secret that he has been guarding all these years. And Neville actually didn't even know it. He's like, what is going on? So they didn't even tell him because they didn't want to upset him. But this is where Leech thinks that Lady Tressilian let her husband drown. She didn't see him drown. She let him drown because he had an affair. So, again with...
this like runs through the family.
Yeah. Yes, murder does seem to run in the family, maybe. We don't know. But Matthew, Mac, whatever you want to call him, he says he didn't hurt her. And he also makes a point whenever Neville here says that he's a bastard. He's like, yeah, I was his bastard. So, like, I couldn't have inherited the money anyway. So what would be the point of him killing her because he wouldn't get the money? So that's his reason why he shouldn't get arrested, because he didn't do it. But they want him to arrest him anyway because they're blaming him. And he talks to Neville about, not telling him the truth because they wanted to protect him. And then he leaves to go check on Sylvia. And they're Mary and Thomas are sitting together. The rest of them are left there. And then somebody's watching from outside. Let's see. Kate, I got a picture here, but it was too dark to see what was going on. I don't think you can tell it's a bed. But Kay lets in Louis into the house in the middle of the night. Neville stayed with Audrey. So basically they're each with their exes now, and they're doing it outright in the open without anything. So they're sleeping with their exes. And then there is a sound in this bedroom of a struggle, and I don't think they actually show who it is, do they?
I know. I don't know whose bedroom that is.
Okay, well, somebody's being killed in the bedroom. As we'll tell you, you can watch next week. But
yeah.
Anything to add? This was a pretty short discussion. Sorry, I hope I'm not going too fast. Not having all the pictures. No problem. But yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
Right now, so many of them seem guilty.
They do. That's what I was going to ask you. Who do you think is guilty?
I think Neville's guilty, but I'm trying to figure out how he got there.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking at this point too, but I wasn't sure because he has an alibi, and I'm like, he seems guilty. He's definitely guilty of something, even if he's not guilty of murder.
Yeah, because I think he set up the whole thing as a cover, like with his wife and his ex-wife, Yeah. So that would be his drama. So this other drama would be like, oh, well, he didn't do that because he was just having this drama over the Pleasure Hotel with the wife and the ex-wife.
Yeah.
Boy's got a lot on his plate. He can't bludgeon somebody to death.
Yeah. I would think, I could be wrong, but I would question that the women would be, I don't know. Again, never tried to hit somebody over the head with a golf club. I don't know if they, well, you know what? Then again, Abby. I was just going to say, I don't know if they'd be strong enough to bludgeon her in the head. And then I'm thinking, Abby, maybe they
just
would
a mere couple hours back.
Yes, I know. Just a few hours ago. Sorry, anybody. We probably should have said
and Abby's not even buff like she is in the video game. She's like we.
Yeah. So sorry if anybody hadn't seen that.
Oh, spoilers for Last of
Yeah,
Us.
so I said we probably should be like spoilers for another show. Sorry about that. I think
Yeah.
everybody by now has seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could. That's a good point that maybe they could. But
Yeah.
that's just you can't tell anything from that picture. It's a picture of the damn bed.
And then
But
Thomas seems kind of sus. He might be able to swim that. I don't know how many people in the family are swimmers. I think it has something to do with swimming because they had that scene with Audrey and Neville, and they made a point that they
that's what I
swam.
kind of wondered because he says that they couldn't drive in 80 minutes. And I wondered, is it possible that he could swim there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think at this point, I thought they would probably have thought of that, but I didn't know. And I don't know. I thought Thomas seems too like traumatized by what happened, but I guess he could be faking it. I did not think it was Mac.
Yeah, I don't think. I
motive.
think somebody's framing Mac as a convenience,
I
whether they
don't
know
see a
or not.
motive.
Whether they know or not, he's the secret like family bastard or whatever.
Yeah. I
I
didn't
don't
think it
know.
was him. I didn't think it was Treves. I didn't think it was Mary.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Just
Mary
because
because
again, I
Mary's
didn't really
too honest.
yeah, I didn't really see a motive. I mean, look, Thomas does have the motive he wanted money, although he got money by her dying, so that is motive. But I don't know. I just didn't think it was him. I was kind of like,
You didn't think
yep,
he was just killer out of anger.
yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, I think his trauma was real. So I kind of thought that it was either Neville, one of the women, if they could do it, although I wasn't sure what would be the reason, or that Lewis. But again, I didn't know that if there was a motive. I'm not sure what Lewis's motive would be at this point if it was him. So
Do you think Kay and Lewis are up to something?
they definitely could be. Obviously, they lied about him being her ex. You would think that they would have. I don't know if they were planning. Well, I do know the answers to things. I'm saying I don't know. I've seen the third one, but like could they have been planning something, or did they just really run into each other at the Pleasure Hotel? It's kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they really ran into each other.
Yeah,
he might have just conveniently been there. Because yes. I feel like she doesn't want to divorce Neville. So here, what's her other option? Hitting him with the golf club?
Right. But I don't think she was mad at Neville until this point. And she does also make a good point, though. If she was going to kill somebody, she'd kill Neville. Like, why kill his aunt? I'm not sure what that would accomplish.
I don't know. She doesn't really have any animosity. I mean, the only people that really have animosity towards her would be Neville and Thomas.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or, well, could be Mac. But again, I just didn't think it was Mac because he could be, I can understand him having animosity against her, but he wouldn't get the money. So it's kind of like, what would be the point? I guess. Not that people only kill for money. I'm just saying that was kind of my thoughts of where it went. But I kind of went back and I told you, I kind of went back and forth. And at one point, when I was watching this, I did guess the correct person, and I was like, no, that's not it. And I changed my idea, and I was like, damn it, I was right the first time. So, yeah.
I wonder where Audrey's compact went to, if we're going to find that. That's going to be planted somewhere.
Might be, and it's, I'm sure, important, or they wouldn't mention it like they did. So, it's got... something.
But you don't think that Mac actually used that stuff? You think he just used it on himself to sleep, right? And not used it on the maid?
Just because it seems too obvious.
Yeah.
Plus, she was hit in the head. Like, I'm not sure. Well, I guess that the Mrs. whatever was put to sleep, so I guess he could have knocked her out. But yeah, like that detective even said, why knock her out if the bell wasn't going to go off anyway? Like, what was the point to do that? My only thought is now, like, watching this back, and I'm wondering if I misunderstood this, and I don't know, but do you think maybe that, like, the bell didn't ring because he had turned it off earlier when he was showing that lady, and that, like, the person maybe didn't know that? I'm wondering. And maybe that's why they poisoned, or not poisoned, knocked her out, whatever, so she couldn't hear what was going on, hear the struggle. Yeah, I don't know. there's a lot of suspects. I think this is a good show. I enjoyed it. I just wish that, like I said, that I think the first episode, maybe if they had a little bit more going on. But I understand it was only 3 episodes. They probably didn't want to put, the first 2 on together. So
I could maybe made like 6 episodes of this.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know anything about the original story, so I don't know. But
all I know is that Inspector Battle was supposed to be in it. It was one of Agatha Christie's main guys, not as popular as Miss Marple and Perot. Perot, yeah.
Yeah, I heard of Perot, but yeah, I don't know about this one. I hadn't heard of this story before, actually, so I didn't know. But it's a good story. It at this point had me trying to figure it out, and I was hooked. Like I said, guessing wrong, guessing right, guessing wrong. So
who was even in the house from 12 to 2 a.m.?
Well, they were probably all in bed, I assume, except for him. He was out drinking.
Oh, what's his face went back to the hotel when they get home from the hotel the first time.
Well, no, they said that Neville. They said the time he came in because the butler let him in, and they said supposedly there wasn't time for him to go all the way from the hotel to the manor, and he would have had to go, I guess, back again to come back again because he let him in at that time. So, like, how would that? Like, they don't know how he would have gotten in if that was the case because it would have taken longer than that.
He totally broke different clothing, and he swam across that thing.
He might have. I said that was
change of clothes.
That was kind of my top theory at this point.
No, I mean, I thought he said that they all came back from dancing at 3 a.m., but they came back before.
No. They came back before, and he went out drinking when she wouldn't talk to him or whatever. He got pissed. And
okay, so he's like real sus then, because I was trying to figure out that time discrepancy here because I thought, well, they're all out there.
He's the only one that has an alibi. Everybody else supposedly, I assume, was in bed. But
because if they were dancing and then he came back and his whole outfit was wet, I'd be like, "You're up to something, mister."
Yeah, I think that they would probably notice that if that happens.
Yeah.
So.
Or he could swim across there, like take off all his clothes, because that would be sexy, and then swim across, and then swim back, and then put his clothes back on.
Well, but how would he get out? And he'd be naked when he got out. Wouldn't somebody notice a naked guy running over?
I don't know.
They might.
Let me put where I put my golf club behind one of these rocks.
Yeah, I know. The other thing I question too is like, why would you be stupid enough to use your own
to grade your own initials into the head of your aunt?
Yeah, I that kind of, I feel like, to me, would be something stupid to do. So I don't know.
I'm pretty amazed. I mean, maybe it's just the rich that have everything, their initials, put into everything, put into the compact,
Well, it makes it convenient. Then they know whose it is, right? They know where to.
Well, it's convenient if you're setting somebody up. I mean, that's the only thing that pushes it towards being set up is like, I'm going to take Neville's golf club with his initials on it.
Yeah, it seems way too obvious.
Try to smack Angelica Houston hard enough that there's a definite NS in her forehead.
Yeah, well, I don't know that the symbols were in her head. I think it's just the fact they knew that they found.
I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. I thought you thought that. I was going to say I think they just found bloody golf clubs with his initial.
No, I was just being funny. I was just exaggerating for humor's sake.
We're making it funny. I see. All right.
Just to be funny. And make tragedy funny.
That's okay. Well, we have 1 episode left, and we will do the live stream next Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, and we will have the watch party at 9:45, and we will not get it mixed up.
Okay. That's definitely set in stone and isn't going to be messed around by the last
No,
one,
because
which I thought was on Wednesday, but is on Thursday.
No, it's on Thursday. I thought we were going to be later because of the episode, and that's why I changed it, and I misunderstood you and you misunderstood me, and I ended up watching it twice, but that's okay. So we'll do that time next week. But
did you find out anything new in your second viewing that you didn't know the first time around?
Not really. I mean, I know I tend to notice more when I'm taking screen captures than I do like the second time around, you know?
Mm.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I did though put oh no, I didn't. I never actually clicked on it. The Discord link in the chat. If for some reason things need to be changed, we do put information schedule, all that good stuff in Discord. So if you're
Yeah.
not a member, please make sure you join. So you can join the watch party as well next week. And then, of course, on Sunday at 9 Eastern, we have our Last of Us watch party when the episode drops. And our live streams are on Tuesday at 10 for our roundup. We have Andor we're adding this week to Doctor Who and Surreal Estate. And then you and I are going to be starting Murderbot and Librarians soon, although we need to discuss the exact details of when. But just if you are, I was just going to say, if you are watching this from NDB Media, which we appreciate NDB Media very much because they host our show on StreamYard. And if you aren't following NDB Media, make sure you do that as well. But if you are watching this on there, make sure that you also follow SciFi Vision's YouTube, because I didn't realize it, but like you don't get there's the whole issue that you can only have 3 notifications in 24 hours on YouTube that get sent out. But I never really thought about it. But because like they stream other shows, they're not getting all the notifications sent out from their channel about our shows. So if you're following only one of the 2 shows, you may not, or one of the 2 channels, you won't get notified every time we have a live stream. So make sure that you follow SciFi Vision as well. And yeah, when's your next live stream?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You have your From live stream.
We will be having the like residents. I think Julie because I co-hosted Julie B Deep Dives. It usually says on my little card there, but it doesn't.
No, I see it. It's under.
Oh, I don't see it on my iPad at all. I just see my name.
It must be your iPad because I see it. It's under your I see your tennis balls and then your name.
Yeah, see, it's kind of weird because on the other live, when I went back into StreamYard, everybody was in circular form and then they were in square form before. It was kind of weird.
It's probably just StreamYard. StreamYard does a lot of weird things, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But we're gonna, like I said, I've been telling people I want to try to figure out how to connect OBS to StreamYard, and then we can make some overlays and fix names and tip jars and all kinds of fun stuff once we get that all righted around. But yeah, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, like I said, so you get notifications. And if the video comes up in your feed, make sure you click on it and watch it for at least 30 seconds. That helps the algorithm. And yeah, check out our live streams coming up. Like I said, we're going to be doing Murderbot and Librarians and maybe some more Yellow Jackets if we can figure out how to fit it in the schedule. And Lori and I are planning to do Dead City and having a watch party. We're just trying to figure all the timing and everything out. So,
or if you still want to do the last anniversary.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I forgot about that. Starting after this week, we're going to be doing 3 episodes a week, I think we said.
Sure. I thought there was 10. There's 6.
Yeah, there's 6. So we'll be going over last anniversary, not quite as deep, probably more like this, a little less deep than we normally do, so we can get all of them done. But we'll go over the show. So everybody needs to check that out. And then I have I just uploaded another Leverage interview, and pretty soon. Well, I guess next month. I shouldn't say pretty soon. Next month I'll have interviews for Murderbot as well coming up, and hopefully Librarians. We'll see. All right, everybody. I
didn't do my promo for Friday.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Friday, because I said I have Julie B. Deep Dives under my name, which I can't see, but you said I could. So what we're doing on Friday is usually Julie will have a watch party for the residents, and we are on episodes 7 and 8. So if you hear this and you want to catch up, you have till Friday to watch the first 6 episodes. And then that'll be around 8 p.m. And then we have a live after at 10 p.m. where we talk about the residents for a few hours, and then it will slowly get back into From Talk. So if you're a fan of the show From, we'll have a little From Talk after.
Awesome. Awesome.
Maybe Doc will come in. I'm not sure if it's going to be a From Academy or not because it's been kind of up in the air as far as what the topics are on that. So
it's From. That's all you need to know. It's From.
It's From, and if you're a fan of From, come and listen to the Resident stuff, and maybe you'll be a fan of the Residents as well. I've got a list of suspects for the Residents.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Doug coming? Because I saw her advertise something about Doug was coming to one of them.
On Wednesday,
Wednesday. Okay. All right. Well, Doug's coming at one point anyway. But and like I said, my next live stream is Tuesday for our roundup show, and Sunday, of course, we have our watch party for Last of Us, and then our live stream for Last of Us is Thursdays at 8 for the people that came here that misunderstood.
I could have swore you said Wednesdays.
No. That's why I said 2 in one day. Last of Us is at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the watch party for Towards Zero at 9:45, and then our live stream at 11 for like we did tonight. Which we have one more episode left, and then we'll be switching to other stuff. And then we'll also be covering Wednesday when it returns. We'll probably be doing something for season 1. We're not sure.
Yeah, they say they're going to release it into 2 groups, which is good. Yep. So we don't have to it stops the binge watchers from watching it all.
Yeah. And then I know we also talked about maybe doing Sandman if we have time. So yeah, people, let us know too what you want to see. That's the other thing. Put in Discord. What do you guys watch? Let us know. But that's the stuff for now.
I know if we're doing Sandman, but the reason I really wanted to do Last Anniversary, it's very female character driven. Kind of like Yellow Jackets, and I kind of dig that.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Female characters.
Well, Sandman is quite a while away, so we don't gotta worry quite.
And plus I know when I searched YouTube, nobody's covering it.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, then
I want to cover it because no one's covering it. I think it's important.
That doesn't mean no one's watching it.
Oh, there's all sorts of stuff of people watching it. It's just nobody's doing an episode by episode.
I see. Well, that's good.
It's more stuff about Australian TV, more like essays about how Nicole Kidman is trying to get more prestige television into Australian TV.
Okay.
And stuff like
I just know Teresa Palmer's in it. That's all I know. I don't know anything beyond that. Because I know
what has she been in?
She was in Discovery of Witches.
Okay.
Things. Yeah, I've talked to her a few times. That's why I noticed she was in it, but I hadn't seen any. I hadn't gotten a chance to watch it, but I will watch it. But
have you watched The Residents?
Yes. Did you not see the end yet?
I have not seen the end.
Oh, I thought you watched ahead. I will make sure I don't say anything then.
No, I didn't watch ahead because I wanted to. Well, I thought me and Julie could come up with a list, but her father passed away and stuff, so we're kind of behind.
Yeah.
So it's I have a list from a couple weeks ago when I watched 7 and 8.
Yeah. Well, that's
and none of them have watched 7 and 8 yet. And I was just I was trying because 7 and 8 didn't really change my mind that much from 5 and 6 of who I thought were suspects. And I was trying to tell her that, but she's like, "Don't tell me anything."
All I will say is the suspects change in that show so often. I gave up.
It kind of reminds me if you've ever seen Only Murders in the Building. After the first season, because the first season you can kind of get who. There are clues, but in the second season, there's only one real big clue, and if you miss it, then you just are confused.
Well, we'll see. I'm curious to know if you guessed right, because I definitely didn't. So we'll see. But anyway,
I'll have to get my list because I can't even remember who I was suspecting. Well, the maid is totally sus, but I haven't seen anything on the maid up to episode 6, so I feel like she's gonna come up sometime. Or else she wouldn't be walking around looking all nervous.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how far you've seen, so I don't want to give you clues either, but I mean, because I don't remember which episode's which. It's hard to remember that. But
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and you can of course watch this after in its entirety if you missed the beginning, and please make sure you leave comments outside of the chat. And thank you. And if you can stick around, I'm going to log in on my other thingy here, which hopefully won't make noise because I need to share screen with you after. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening. Have a good night.
Well, you're all split up in different parts.
Yeah, I know. It's because there's 3 of us now because I'm in there twice. Actually, I shouldn't have put myself on there. I didn't need to be on the stage. I shouldn't have done that. The thing is I get where you say your iPad doesn't mute because like I can hear us now talking on my iPad.
Have you stopped the live?
All the way. No, I did not. Sorry. Just listen to me go on and on. It's okay. People need to know the tech shit. Sorry, guys. But anyway, if you listen to our stream, thank you for joining us, and we will see you at the next one. Good night.
Bye.